Today I want to tell a story. Imagine the year is 2010 and it's a summer afternoon and you're watching TV, and on the TV you're watching Star Movies, and on Star Movies they're doing the top box office countdown. On I think number 5 or 6, a Jennifer Aniston movie comes on that looks like the most generic Jennifer Aniston movie you've ever seen in your life, and then halfway through the trailer you hear a song that immediately 100% changes your life. Can you imagine that? Today I want to talk about my favorite band, the Goo Goo Dolls. And now I know I'm not going to go super technical with it, and I'm not going to talk about if they're the most technically sound band, if they're the best band, if they have the most social impact or whatever. Music is subjective, and people like what they like and people hate what they hate, and everything in between. Today I just want to talk about how I came across this band from Buffalo and how it single-handedly changed my life. I was living in Karachi at the time, and I heard about the Goo Goo Dolls from my aforementioned story, and I did a little research on them. I think the first song I ever listened to them was Better Days. I think I heard Black Balloon, and then I heard Name, and then I heard Iris, which I'll get to in a second. So I found this band out, and nobody had heard of them. And at the time I had one of those MP3 players, the ones that were shaped like a USB. And I used to listen to them on my way to school. And I was probably the only kid in the school that knew what the Goo Goo Dolls were or what it was. And then I started telling my friends about it. And obviously when you're like 13 and you like a band named the Goo Goo Dolls, you are definitely in for some sort of abuse. So I had to take that. I took it chin up. I did not back down if this was something that I liked, and this was something that I liked. But my relationship with the band just grew and grew and grew. And when I heard Iris for the first time, I was like, this is wonderful. There cannot be a song that is better than this song. Until this day, I stick to that. I've heard so many other songs and I've been to so many other bands and artists, but the way that song hit me, the way that song connected with me, I don't think any song has ever done, and I don't think any song ever will. That song was the reason I went and pulled up my Eid money and bought a 8,000 rupees, which is about roughly $50 at the time, a beat up guitar. And the first song that I learned to play on it was Name. It was an alternate tuning and it was easy to play. And then the second song I learned to play on it was Iris. And then eventually, as I grew older, people started realizing that a band with a funny name can also have one of the best songs they've ever heard. And I think that was the summer, I think it was the summer of 2011 or maybe 12, where Iris sort of just took off in my circle of friends, and then their circle of friends, and then my school, and then suddenly everybody was into that song and everybody was into that band. It sort of developed my relationship with something that was completely intangible, and I never thought in a million years that that band would ever have an impact that it did on me, at least not at the time. And then in 2012 I moved here to Toronto, and that summer they went on tour with Matchbox 20, is where I got the shirt, and I met them and I got this. They gave me this, and I hang this in my room all the time. I've met the band a few more times, and I was lucky enough to give them a copy of my book, which was heavily inspired by their music and heavily inspired by the journey that I took from being their fan. People can debate all they want about what bands are good. Like, not every band is going to be the Beatles, and that's fine. They don't have to be. But for me, the Goo Goo Dolls was that band. I will forever love that band. Whatever music they put out, whatever thing they do next, whenever they're on tour, I try my best to see them. They represent a chunk of my childhood, adolescence, my first love, my first heartbreak, my first guitar. I will always cherish that. Those are out.